Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another cooking demonstration. My name is Shannon Parks. I am your Cigna on-site nutrition health coach. I am so excited to be here making some tasty treats with you guys today. So everybody who works out always asks me, what am I supposed to eat after a workout, right? Should I grab a protein shake? Should I get a protein bar? Should I just wait until the next meal time? And I'm really excited because today we're going to make a perfect post-workout snack. So when you think about a post-workout snack, you need to think about two different things. One is, does it have some form of carbohydrate, which could be something like an oat, which we're going to use today, a piece of bread, some rice, pasta, fruit or fruit juice, yogurt, right? There are so many good grains and carbohydrates out there. And the other component of a good post-workout snack is going to be protein. Help rebuild and refuel the muscles that you're working during your workout. So sources of protein can be protein powder or protein shake. You could grab a protein bar. You could resort to non-animal sources of protein, such as beans, tofu, and tempeh. You could also resort to animal sources of protein, such as cheese, yogurt, eggs, beef, chicken, turkey, fish, you name it. But when we think about a post-workout snack, we want to think about them having a carbohydrate and a protein together, which is why I love both of the recipes that I'm going to share with you today for two really delicious post-workout energy bite snacks. Who doesn't love one of those cute little energy balls? And they're so easy to make. They keep in the refrigerator covered for up to 5 days or in your freezer for 6 months. That's pretty amazing. Make a big batch, throw them in the freezer, and you'll have them, as long as you don't gobble them all up, you'll have them for a while. So let's go ahead and jump in. First, we're going to be doing a lemon chia seed energy bite. And then later, in just a little bit, we're going to be doing a peanut butter chocolate energy bite. So I'm super excited. Let's go ahead and dive in and look at the ingredients we're going to be using today. So the base for both of our recipes is going to be sprouted quick oats. I like the sprouted quick oats because they're partially cooked already, so they have a little bit of a softer texture. And since we're not cooking the oats, we want to go with a softer texture. Now, if you have steel cut oats at home and plan on using those, just go ahead and pulse them in your blender a few times to break them up a little bit. So that'll be our base. Both of our recipes also feature a vanilla protein powder. This is the Publix brand organic vanilla protein powder. If you wanted to use a vegan option, you could, or if you have a favorite protein powder at home that you like, you could use that too. So we'll be using that. The lemon chia seed recipe, obviously it's in the name. We're going to be using chia seeds. You can find these in the cereal grain aisle, right by the cereals at Publix, Walmart, or your local grocery store. We'll also be using the zest and the juice of 1 lemon. We'll use some vanilla extract, some stevia to keep it calorically intact. And we'll also be using some coconut milk. This is unsweetened, chilled coconut milk that I found in the dairy section of the grocery store. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I've got my mixing bowl here. To that, I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of oats, 3 scoops of protein powder, 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. We're going to use about 1/2 of a packet of stevia here. So just a little bit to sweeten it, and stevia, a little bit goes a long way. So we're using that. We're also going to zest some lemon in here. So I've got my zester from home, and I've gone ahead and already washed the skin of this lemon. So I really like a really nice bright lemon flavor. And to get that, I'm going to give lots of zest in there. Now, one of the things that you want to watch out for when you're zesting fruit is you don't want to get all the way to the white of the skin. That is where it's going to start to get less aromatic and more bitter. And so you just want to gently zest all sides of this lemon. So I like I said, a really nice bright lemon flavor. If you're somebody who likes lemon but doesn't love it, maybe a little bit less. But I really like a lot, especially with springtime. Such a nice flavor for the season. Okay, so I've got that nice and zested. You can see I used most all of the lemon here, and then I'm just going to make sure that everything that's collected on my zester here gets into the bowl. Like that, perfect. I've also brought in a juicer. If you don't have one of these, you can handy dandy just squeeze this bad boy, but I didn't want to risk any seeds making their way in. So we're going to juice half of a lemon, and we'll be adding that to our bowl as well. Oh, I got a runaway seed there. Okay, so we're just going to add this to our bowl as well. Got some vanilla extract, can't forget about that. Handiest way to measure this is with the cap. So I just pour 1 capful right in. Perfect. Okay, now last ingredient is the coconut milk. I've got a 1/2 cup here pre-poured, so we'll go ahead and add that. And I'm going to put on some gloves. These can get a little bit messy, and so I like to mix them up with my hands, and if I need to add any extra oats or anything like that, I can just toss them right in. So I'm actually going to open up our container of oats in case I do need to toss some in, and we'll get that ready here. So let's go ahead and mix this up. And we want to form like a dough-like consistency. Oh my gosh, you guys, this smells so good. It smells like lemon cake. Oh, I don't know if these are going to make it to my freezer. I am going to add a little bit more oats, probably about another 1/2 cup or so, because it's a little bit liquidy for my liking. I'll just add in a little bit more oats. And then I also have a handy dandy scooper here. Let's say it's probably a 2-ounce scoop that I'm going to be using. Okay, I'm getting to a nice dough-like texture, but I am actually going to just add a little bit more oats. So we started with 3/4 cup. Y'all, we're probably closer to 1.5 cups or maybe even 2 cups at this point. I'm going to get a nice texture that's going to bind together really well so that these will stay pretty firmly rooted. And I'm actually going to come around so you can see up close what this looks like. So you guys can see it's kind of making a moderately firm dough type consistency. Okay, I think maybe I will add just a little bit more oats. I like them to be pretty firm. Okay, so I'm going to call this 2 cups of oats by now. We'll make sure that we post the recipe for y'all. And then I documented that I added more oats just so you guys can recreate this at home. I love this recipe so much. Okay, perfect. So I've got this all nice and mixed up here, and I've got a little pie pan that I'm going to scoop these into, and I've got a little scoop and some water here. But essentially, we're just going to scoop out a ball and roll them up nice and tight here. And then these will go in the refrigerator to chill. And the colder they are, the more they hold together too. So don't put too much pressure on yourself for these. But I love these as a great afternoon snack. I love them as a post-workout snack, heck, even as a pre-workout snack. They're just really good. Lots of fiber with the oats and the chia seeds. Really good source of carbohydrates. We've got the protein powder in there, so that's going to help out our nutrition as well. And like I said, we can freeze these. I have a small child at home, and he loves these too. He loves to help me make them, so it's a fun way to get the kids in the kitchen. Okay, good. These are coming together really well. Got a few more that we'll scoop, and then we're going to scoot on over and start making our chocolate chip peanut butter balls. I think those are maybe even more of a favorite than these lemon ones. I'm partial to lemon, but these are pretty good. Okay, these are looking really good. I'd say this recipe probably makes between 10 and 12 of these little energy bites. So if you make them, just depends on how big of a size that you're making here, but I'd say they make probably close to 10 or 12. And you can see, I'll bring these around so you can see here. These look so good. You can see the chia seeds in them and the oats. I wish y'all could smell it right through the camera because it smells so good in here right now. Okay, as promised, we're gonna move on and we're actually going to do another recipe. So if lemon and chia isn't really your thing, stay tuned because we're gonna do chocolate peanut butter next. And I haven't met many people who don't like chocolate and peanut butter together. So I'm pretty excited about that. Get all this stuff scooted out of the way and we're gonna move on over. Okay, so very similar base for these. It's gonna be oats. I've got dairy-free chocolate chips here by the brand Enjoy Life. I chose to go with mini chocolate chips to make it a little bit easier. We've got some more of that vanilla protein powder, 2 scoops this time. And I'm gonna be using some of the Smucker's natural peanut butter. Love this one because it doesn't have added sugar in it, which is not really too necessary. So we've got a new mixing bowl here, and let's get this party started. So first we're gonna add in the oats. And this is 1 cup of oats to start. We've got 2 scoops of vanilla protein powder here. Ooh. I've got 1/3 of a cup of mini chocolate chips. We're gonna do another 1/2 packet of stevia. And like I said, a little bit goes a long way with these things here. And then I've got some peanut butter that's gonna go in here. Now, this is I believe 16 ounces. We wanna use 8 ounces. So I'm gonna use about half of this. I'm gonna scoop it out into this bowl here. And that is how I saved from having to scoop peanut butter into a measuring cup. It can be so messy. But we're gonna get about half a cup in there. And then, y'all guessed it, we are going to mix this bad boy up. Now, we could get fancy and use some chia seeds in here as well. That would give us a little extra fiber, a little extra protein, right? But for this recipe, I'm gonna keep it really simple. And we're just gonna go with oats, peanut butter, protein powder, chocolate chips, and a little stevia. You could definitely get creative, and you could use flaxseed in here if you wanted to, chia seeds. You could add some coconut oil if you wanted to boost up the omega fatty acid content in these. You can get really creative. And there's so many yummy recipes for these out there too. But these are definitely 2 of my favorites. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and get this one mixed up here. It's a little bit more fun to mix because I gotta get everything combined with the peanut butter here. And again, a nice dough-like texture. If it is too firm or too dry, you can always add a little bit of water or some coconut milk if you wanted to. But this one actually comes together pretty nicely because of the peanut butter. So you can see it's got a nice dough-like texture and consistency. And we're just gonna go ahead and get this all served up. Nice. Yeah, those are nice. That looks so tasty. I cannot wait for these to chill in the fridge. So what I'm gonna do is cover them up with some plastic wrap or foil they're going to go in the fridge to chill for at least 6 hours. And then once they're chilled, you can transfer them to the freezer where they'll stay good in an airtight container for up to 6 months. Or you can keep them in your fridge in an airtight container for 5 to 7 days. They don't last that long in my house. And something tells me that they might not last as long in your house either. So if you're not making these energy bites for a post-workout snack, if you think about a post-workout snack, we want to think about protein and carbohydrates like we talked about earlier, right? So some other good options might be a protein shake and a piece of fruit slathered with some peanut butter, toast, and eggs, or some leftovers if you've got like some leftover rice and beans, something like that, that's going to afford you some form of healthy carbohydrate to refuel those muscles and some form of protein to build them back up. All right, y'all, this recipe made 9. Well, I could probably split this big guy into 2, so we'll call it 10. This recipe made about 10 energy bites. We'll show you these too. These look so good. Okay, here, check these out. We've got some peanut butter, chocolate energy bites, and some lemon chia seed energy bites. And as always, y'all, it is so much fun hanging out with you, cooking in the kitchen, and I cannot wait to come back and see you again soon. Take care.